Alright guys, welcome. Today we're changing the transmission fluid in the Sprinter, Old Lady Liberty. We got everything we need here to do it yourself. We've never done it before, but luckily I've got Rusty here to help me, and the guy is a mechanical genius. So, young prodigy. Alright, here we go. So we have transmission fluid. Comes with 2 4 liters, so I believe it's about 8 liters, or excuse me, 8 quarts that we're putting in. Transmission filter, a new gasket. This is a new transmission plug, the adapter plug. It's recommended that you change these. This has the new updated O-rings. We have a new torque converter. We're also going to be draining the torque converter. This is the new drain plug, washer, and this goes to the filler neck. And that's everything we need. So going to go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to do, put it up on the ramps, give us a little more room underneath the van. First thing we're gonna do, what's the first thing we're gonna do, Rusty? Drain it? Loosen the plug?
Yeah.
Alright, first thing we're gonna do is get under the van and loosen the drain plug. So we have a hex 5 on a 1/4 inch drive. And we're gonna come under the van. And we're looking for the drain bolt, which is right here. And we're just going to drain the pan before we drop it. Alright, so this is either stripped out or I need an H6. Previous owner or mechanic, whoever worked on this, completely rounded out this bolt. So there is no hope in getting that out. So we're going to have to do this the messy way, and that's dropping the pan. And this is a 3500, so we have this extra cross member here. And it's just held on with 2 bolts on each side, and then these 3 here. Rusty says we should just drop it, and that'll give us the room we need to drop the pan without giving ourselves a big headache and trying to fish the pan out of there, squeeze it through. So we're going to go ahead and drop this cross member.
There we go. Alright, that's good. Next one. That one didn't even need the wrench. Okay.
These bolts have a nut on the top and the bottom, so you gotta put an open-end box wrench on one of the sides in order to crack loose the other side. Let's see
That should just thread in.
Yeah, these are really tight.
Now, do we even need to loosen this? This should drop over,
yeah, that
right?
should drop over. Well, what's the purpose of this thing?
Well, this sits on there, and it's a rubber mount to, you know, hold the transmission still without vibrating the piss out of everything.
So just take these bolts out here. This is in the cross member. What does this cross member do? Stability?
It holds up the back of the transmission, supports it, ties it into the frame. So makes the frame stronger, and it holds the transmission in place because, you know, there's a lot of force on that side.
I'm gonna put all these bolts over there.
Yeah.
Really? Alright, so we remove the 4 bolts and the 2 that hold it onto the back of the transmission here. As you can see, we now have full access to the pan. It is resting on the cross member up there, so we'll have to, we got the jack piece of wood. We'll push it up right here when the time comes.
Oh.
Yes, when the time comes to remove the pan. But right now, this is kind of works in our favor because we can just crack these bolts, and the fluid should start coming out, right?
If there's any in there.
Let me get that out of the way.
Right there.
T30.
And then there should be another one in there, so you can.
Here, get the pan first.
Yeah, I just want to see if it's the right size.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so that's we're using a Torx 30-bit, right, like this. A T30. We're just going to loosen these screws here, and by loosening these, we'll let it drain into the pan before we do anything else.
Hey Jake, this is for you to see in editing later. See, you don't want to take it all the way out yet, except for the ones on the far end.
Yeah, so that it doesn't just drop.
Oh, there she goes.
Got it. Oh, she's a coming.
I guess this did have transmission fluid.
That's a good sign.
Where are we putting these guys?
Right behind you.
Alright, loosen that one up on your side. Oh, yeah. It's red-ish.
It's good news. I'm tightening this right now, so that's a good thing.
Your drain pan has lots of cracks in the bottom.
What's that?
Your drain pan has lots of cracks in the bottom.
Is it?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah.
So we're just jacking up the transmission from the back side here so that we can reach the front transmission pan bolts. So we can get a wrench under there.
Uh-oh.
Oh, we're missing. Oh, can you hold that side?
Here, let me get my wrench out.
Alright, I got the pan.
No, the wrench doesn't want to come out because there's enough clearance to the cross member because the bolt came out too much. You got the pan?
Yep.
Come on out. Are you kidding
Definitely a two-person job if you're watching this at home. And
I'm gonna have to
it also makes it easier if your pan doesn't drip.
Come on out. Alright, now let it down.
Here, you want to just pull the pan down some with your hand?
No, let's just drop the transmission
Oh, okay.
quickly, and then we'll pull that out of the way and push this in front. This is gonna be super awesome. I'll try to hold it on a little bit so it doesn't work so much. Oh, look at this skill.
Man, it's like we know what we're doing. Alright, we got all the bolts out?
Yep.
Alright, drop this down.
Nice and easy. Oh, back this way. Woo wee! Alright, so if you look in there, you have a magnet.
Should be a magnet, and there's that filter popped out already.
That was easy. So let's take a look at that magnet.
Alright, let's come on over here, Rusty.
Oh,
Alright, so here's the pan. That's our filter. So I want to crack that open later and inspect it, see what.
Well, you can see already.
We got some shine, some glitter. What is, those are big pieces, huh?
They're not small. From And right here in this part of the filter.
Yeah, we'll crack that open and really take a look at it.
But here's our magnet, which is going to collect the clutch dust. Now, how many miles does this have?
This has 150 now on the clock.
So for 150, you expect to see some stuff there. As you can see right here.
Oh yeah, there's some sludgy stuff.
That's all clutch residue. That's pretty normal. It's probably more than you want to see, but having some on there is normal.
Well, the good news is we got it open now. Now we can replace it. Oh yeah, look at that.
That's all clutch dust.
All right, so what are we gonna do to clean this out? We're gonna clean it out really well.
Carb cleaner. Pretty much.
Cleaner.
Drain
Yeah.
it,
Yeah,
spray
so
some carb cleaner in there before you put the gasket on.
yeah, so
Don't shrink the gasket.
we'll get this. What do we have to do to make sure all the oil is coming out of there? You want to drain the torque converter?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so we're gonna drain the torque converter and let that drain, and then we'll clean the pan out while we're waiting on that.
All those metal
Oh
shit.
yeah.
All that clutch dust.
Alright, so this is what we're looking at after the pan is off. That's what this will look like. We've got it supported by a jack in the back here. This is just about all drained. Now we're going to drain the torque converter.
There should be an inspection plate right here.
Yeah, I can see. I think that's where we got to stick the...
I think to drain the torque converter.
Yeah. It's going to be a little hex 4 we're looking for. Little baby guy.
And that's probably going to be nice and rusty. But basically what an automatic transmission is it's a hydraulic pump. What it does is when the torque converter spins, it creates centrifugal force on the fluid, which forces it through the transmission. And each gear has clutches. They'll automatically shift based on engine RPM. And, that pump spins these little shafts inside the transmission to then drive the output shaft. I am on the crank pulley.
So Leon is on the crank pulley.
I need
In order to get to the torque converter plug, you've got to put a 27mm socket on the end of the crankshaft flywheel pulley on the pulley, and rotate it until you can find the drain screw, the drain plug for the torque converter. So because it spins, it may not be in the little access hole that you have access to, so you got to put that 27mm socket on the end of it and rotate it until you see it. Go ahead and spin it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, there it is, but we went too far.
Okay.
Let's go the other way. And that's it right there.
perfect.
See right there. See it. Perfect. All right, now how the hell? Just got transmission fluid on my forehead. That's a hex 4. I don't know how we're gonna get anything in there. All right, flashlight. We found.
We can get a little flexible head ratchet in there.
Flexible head ratchet. Yeah, I think that's gonna be the movable 1/4" flexible head ratchet. And
Amazon special.
Amazon special. Hold on, let me get you a. So I do know that the torque converter drain bolt is a hex 4.
Here, throw these back in there. Just
Little 1/4". Okay, so we found that the easiest way to get to where you gotta go is to lay with your head facing towards the front of the van. So if you lay in this direction, and then you take your wrench, and so this is the cross member on the 3500, and stick it up behind. This is the hole we're going into, and then you can reach it like that. Again, that's the rear of the van falling forward. Stick your hand up and around the back side here, and that'll give you enough space. Get the wrench in All right, so the torque converter bolt is a pain. Luckily, ours wasn't super tight. We switched over to just a normal Allen key. It's probably a super flattering angle. But just shine the flashlight up in there for me. Yeah, okay, so see, oh, that's just about out of there. So we were just using this and doing about a little less than half a turn each. Huge pain in the butt, but it's coming out and we're just about there. Here, transmission fluid is good moisturizer.
Oh yeah.
Right,
It's also a detergent, great for cleaning driveways. Make sure to spill a lot of it. Oh, there she blows.
there it is. That's the little hex nut there. There's a lot of fluid in there.
Is your GoPro waterproof?
Yeah, but not
Not transmission fluid proof? Yeah, there's a drip on the lens. Oh, yeah. That's fantastic.
Oh, it's not a very clean job. Well, that wouldn't be fun, right?
There's transmission fluid all over the lens.
Let's go get some more rags. Shout out to Super Springs supplying us with these hats.
Coming in handy.
Nice. Check them out. Stay tuned for a video on how to install the Super Springs on this Sprinter van. Alright, cleaner. Hopefully the cardboard absorbs that. Take this out. That come out? Oh man, look at that. Sludge that's on there. Need another can.
Got some more?
I think so.
All that clutch material.
Splash zone. Just clean that with a rag.
Yeah, I tried to.
Like that. Well, let's say this thing's looking good as new.
Sweet.
All right, don't forget to put your magnet back. Yeah. And looks like the torque converter is just about drained. So next order of operation, get the transmission fluid off the lens and replace the bolt with a new one. We got a new torque converter drain plug, comes in the kit with a new washer. So let's go ahead and get that put in.
And also let's throw that new gas.
This is our new plug. Comes in our kit. It's got a new copper crush washer, and it looks like it's got a little bit of Loctite on there too. So that's cool.
Check that ghetto rig out.
So we're just also, this is unnecessary step, but we're just looks like this transmission line's had a repair to it. You can see they kind of put this rubber hose in between where it connects to the transmission. It just seems a little loose, so we're just checking it out. Leon went ahead and undid it and figured we might as well just drain the fluid that's in there as well. But while he's doing that, I'm going to do a part that is necessary, and that's the transmission controller plug module here. And this is on the right side, and to get it out, this just rotates down, and then the plug just pulls straight out. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace this piece here. And in order to do that, we have to stick a 7mm socket down in there, and I'll show you. Leon, can you reach with your left hand? I think I set, there should be a bag. Yeah, so there's a little bolt inside the plug, and so you have to stick a wrench, or excuse me, a socket down in there. Oh, it was, you did have it.
Hey man, I gotta make a living somehow.
This is the new one. Comes with your kit. So this actually goes into the housing itself. You'll see there's a screw here. So you take a 7mm socket that goes inside, and that'll allow us. And when you take this out, you want to make sure you pull it straight out, because there's connector pins that go in here, and you don't want to bend those. So you don't want to twist this when you pull it. You want to just lift it straight out, and when you put it in, these are aligned in a way that it can only go in one way. Let's go do that. And that's the bolt I'm talking about there. And I just applied a little counterforce with my left hand to the connector here so that you don't spin it. And there she is. That's the old one. There's the bolt in there. Take this new one, a little bit of this transmission fluid, just put it on the gasket. Again, being careful not to smash this in there.
That little thing out.
I wonder if there's a, I'm gonna see if this one didn't come with another gasket in it. Oh man, there it is right there. So make sure you fish out the other one. You'll notice the new one has two on here. Make sure you fish the other one out of there before you try and stick your new plug in there. So I stand corrected, this did have a newer style. This is the piece we're replacing, and this one did have the newer style black O-rings on here. But we're gonna go ahead and replace it anyways. It's like a $9 part. And that's in there. So, that's pretty easy. So far that's been the easiest part, is replacing this. I've read that you can replace this without removing anything else if this is leaking on you, and you can actually replace it without losing too much fluid. So you can park on a slight incline of a hill, get under here and take this out, and you'll only lose a little bit of fluid. Make sure you just put some back in, but you can actually, if this is leaking, you can fix it without doing this whole process. That's a little pro tip.
I have the rusty touch, so this fitting right here is what the quick connect line connects to with a little C clip, which is the low pressure return line for the transmission cooler. I needed to put a new O-ring in this. While reinstalling this, that happened. This broke off into the transmission. Now, I wasn't cranking down on it, so it unthreaded pretty much right out. It was only hand tight in there. But yeah, that sucks. So we're gonna figure something out. We're either gonna get this exact part, or we're gonna find a barb fitting that has the same threads. Thread in a barb fitting and continue the little redneck repair that's going on over there with rubber line. So we'll keep you updated. But for now, the new filter is going on.
So back onto our normal scheduled program here. We're gonna put the new filter. It's gonna sit right up in here. So kind of push it up with your hand. Kind of holds on just like that. And we have the pan. It's completely clean. Our magnet is clean. And now we can ready to put this back up there, so we're just gonna need those bolts. I got 4 over here. I got 2 over here. So that's transmission sight a little bit. It's supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
Like vibration.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. All right, so let's just go get the thing for the line, and then we'll fill it up with fluid, and we're all done.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we found a fix. Putting a new piece of hose on here. After a couple trips to the local auto parts store, as well as the hardware store. Shade help. Let me give that.
Yeah, here, see if you can.
Gotta put this hose onto there. This transmission.
And then show them the barb fitting.
Barb fitting. Can you see it?
Yep.
There it is. Alright, let me give it a try. Everything's buttoned up on the bottom. Oh, ew. This is Titan ATF 4134. All right, there's gonna be a part 2 to this video because on this one, our front right, the transmission pan bolt is the inner housing, the part that it screws into the transmission is stripped out. It came out really loose. It was already kind of wiggly, and putting it back in, it's just not holding that corner of the pan tight enough. So we got a little bit of a drip coming there, so we're gonna have to solve that. We're gonna put a bolt through it with a nut on the other side. That way we can cinch it down and get a nice tight seal, and then we'll be all set. So everything else went pretty much as planned. I mean, we opened up the filter, saw some particles in there, but the filter did its job. And yeah, so hopefully this video was helpful to you. If it was, go ahead, hit that like button for me so I know you liked it. And if you liked Rusty Poop Stain, aka Leon the Rusty Nut Man, hit the subscribe button. We'll do some more dirty tech videos for you.
Hell yeah, brother.
Alright, thanks for watching.